What's up, y'all? It's your boy Melanated Mastery here with another video. Another book review. Road to reading 1,000 books. Well on the way. You see, I got the books right here with me today. But today we're gonna be a little bit more specific. I have this book right here, A Mind for Numbers by Barbara Oakley. She's a PhD in, I believe, in electrical engineering and computer science. This book right here, it's a great book. Basically teaches you different learning techniques that's been proven to help people learn things, comprehend things better and faster. Um, so a couple of techniques that this book goes over that I personally use as well is, for instance, there's a technique called the Pomodoro technique, where basically, say you separate yourself from all technology. Like me personally, I leave my phone. I leave everything here, and like I go to the library with just a stopwatch and a book that I want to read or whatever that I want to study. But the technique, you do that, you go somewhere with no technology. You bring what you're studying, you bring your stopwatch, and you set the timer on the watch for about 25 minutes or 30 minutes or however long you want to go. And you basically just completely focus on what you're studying. And after that timer runs out, you stop, you get up, you walk around, you take a break, you do something you like. You reward yourself by doing something you like, whether that be you going to get on your phone, you going to play chess. It's just some of the things I do. You going to play chess, or just walking around or going to the restroom, or just do something you like. Go for a run or something. After you do that, you go back and you do the timer again. Or if you just want to leave, you can just do that. But basically, you just want to reward yourself. That's a big part of it, because what's happening is, and this book talks about it, is your brain is switching between something that's called focused mode thinking and diffuse mode thinking. And diffuse mode thinking is basically when you walk off, and when you're doing something you like, your mind is working in the background to make connections of what you just learned. So even though you're not thinking about it, your mind is still sorting out different information to categorize it and to comprehend it the best way that it see fits, right? So while you're on your phone or walking around, your brain's doing that. Now, when you're focused during that time, your brain is just completely focusing. But this technique is switching between those two modes. It helps you, and I'm speaking from experience. I feel like it definitely helps me learn things, better and faster, and helps me comprehend things a lot better. So that's just one of the techniques this book goes over. Another technique is visualization. So that's something that I like to do too. Whenever I have a goal of, like reading a book or just doing anything, this book basically teaches you to visualize it in your mind first. So, close your eyes and visualize yourself doing whatever you want to do. Like me, uh, before I read a book, I close my eyes and, I visualize myself understanding the information, me flipping through the book and me grasping the information. Or if I want to learn something, I close my eyes and I visualize myself learning it, understanding it, and I visualize myself being very efficient at it as well. So that's another thing, visualization. Another aspect of that technique is you can draw it out, take it from how you see it in here and write it on a piece of paper so you can look at it. And I use that too. Whenever I learn something, I try to write or draw a picture of it, of whatever I'm learning. Like, say if I'm learning about atoms, chemistry, I'm gonna draw a picture of an atom and put it somewhere so I can look at it. Because what that's doing is that's also helping you, helping your mind organize information, and you're using more than one sense. So you're drawing more information from something. When you use more senses, and again, I'm speaking from experience, and there's a lot of books that I read this in, but when you use more than one sense in learning, then it really helps you grasp information. Like if you read a book, instead of just reading the book, instead of just, looking at it and, touching it and, reading it in your mind, um, one thing you can do is put the audiobook on as well while you're reading. So not only are you looking at it, you're, reading it in your mind and you're touching it, but now you didn't add an audio. So you're listening to it and you're also hearing it as you're comprehending it in your mind while you're looking at it, so you're using more senses, so you're giving your brain a chance to draw in more information from the sources that it has, from the senses that it has, your five senses. So that's another aspect of the visualization technique that it teaches in this book. I mean, man, I can go on and on about the techniques that this book has taught me. Let's see, what's another one? We have visualization, the Pomodoro technique. You know, uh, oh, another big one too is one of the better ways to learn something is to once you start learning it, try to recite everything. So try to think of everything that you just learned. So let's say if I'm learning about quantum mechanics and I ask myself, let's say I just got to reading quantum mechanics book, right? And I ask myself, what did I just read, or what is quantum entanglement? And I just try to answer that question, right? So quantum entanglement, what's that? That's when two atoms of the same origin, or two particles of the same origin, being the atom, right, are separated, and when you do something to one of the particles that was separated, the other particle instantly reacts to it, whether it be the same thing happens to it or whether the opposite of what happens to it. So that's how you do it, and a good way to do that also to recite what you just learned is to make flashcards. That's one, man. That's like my big thing. Anything I want to learn, I make flashcards, and I know I can learn it once I make flashcards. So I make flashcards on one side. I'll have like, I'll ask a question because I'm giving my brain that cue to go and look for it and to find it. So what I'll do is on one side of the flashcard, I'll have the question, and on the other side, I'll have the answer. And obviously, before I view the answer, I try to think of the answer and figure it out. But that's a great way. Flashcards is one of the, to me personally, the best ways to learn, especially if you're learning something on your own, meaning if you're not with other people trying to learn something like in the classroom or anything. Flashcards is a great way. This book talks about that. Uh, Barbara Oakley, she also has a TED talk uh, on YouTube, where she talks about this book. She talks about different learning techniques as well. Um, so yeah, man, I definitely recommend getting this book if you're learning something new and you just want to find a book that teaches you different learning strategies. And just a little background on the author. At the beginning of the book, she actually explains how she was she wasn't that fluent in English, so it was hard for her to understand what her teachers were saying as far as them teaching English and everything. So she came from barely, she didn't learn. I believe she said she didn't learn. She didn't learn like algebra or some like lower level math until she was like in her 20s. So this is coming from a doctor that didn't learn you know uh, lower level maths or high school level maths until she was in her 20s. And she was able to utilize the techniques that she talks about to do this. She used these techniques to get through. Uh, to get a PhD. To get through college and everything. So this is a great book. It's your boy Melanated Mastery. Catch you guys with another book review. I'm out.